Hey everyone, welcome back to the Python Beginners video. Today we'll be talking about receiving inputs and using them to define what code is executed next. Okay, to begin, let's talk about how to perform an input and what an input is. An input is where Python will detect for the user to type into the shell. Then, what's typed into the shell can be used as a variable. For example, my code may ask me, what type of food do you like? And then I can reply, cheese, pizza, etc. And then my reply will be stored in the code and can be used later on. This can be useful when asking for a name of the user and then you're wanting to refer back to it later. Okay, this is what we were left with in the last video. We talked about a variable and how to define one and what it is. We talked about strings. We talked about making sure you use apostrophes in strings. And we talked about printing. Well, this lesson is going to use all of those things, so let's buckle down. To begin, we want to make a new variable. This is going to be our input. For the purposes of the tutorial, mine's going to be called input_tutorial. Then you want to put an equal sign. This now suddenly has become a variable. Now, in here, we want to write input, bracket, and then you want to write the question that the user will be asked. So, if we're asking the user what their name is, we might put in here, what is your name? Then you want to close the apostrophes and close the brackets. Right, so you've done that, and now, if we run our code, save, it'll say, hello, welcome to Chatty, what is your name? And I can write in here, Techie. Right, and then it's got nothing else to execute, so now the shell's going to end. That code is now finished. Right, the shell doesn't have anything else to do, so it's just quit. And I'm pretty sure in here we can actually write code like this and it'll instantly print it, but that makes it so it's not a program. So this is just for doing single commands. So it isn't very useful for what we're trying to do. So now I'm going to exit out the shell and we're back here on our .py script. Now, at the moment, our program is asking what the user's name is, but we're not doing anything with the info that the user puts into the program. And that's what we're going to do now. So, we can put if input_tutorial, or whatever you called this variable here, you need to put that just here. So I've called mine input_tutorial, so that's what I write here. So if input_tutorial equals, and then in apostrophes, you can put, if it equals, I don't know, techie, and then colon. And then in here, the next line, we can put what we want the program to perform if the answer to input_tutorial is techie. And for my case, I'm going to put, so you like computers. But then, what if it's anything else, the name? Well, that's alright, we'll put an else in. And then from the else, we need to remember to put in our colon. And then we'll put in a print. Remember the print function we used before? And we can put in here, nice name. Okay, so I know what you're thinking. What does this do? I've got absolutely no idea. Well, that's alright, I'm going to explain it, don't worry. Let's go step by step, piece by piece. If, well, that's quite self-explanatory. If means if something has happened. So if what's happened? If input tutorial equals basically means is, but not defining what it is, it's checking what it is. So if I do if input tutorial equals, that wouldn't work because that's trying to make input tutorial be something, not check for something. So you can't put if something it be's something. That makes no sense in English. That makes no sense. However, you can have if something is something, and that's what this is doing here. So double, you have to remember this, double equals is, and one equals is what we want it to be. Okay, if you don't understand that, leave a comment down in the comment section and I can try and explain it to you. We'll go over that more in another video though. So what this line does is if input tutorial is techie, so if the answer we put in is techie, and then the colon basically means then. So if input underscore tutorial is techie, then print, so we used this in the last video, this is a function, print this string. So if you wanted, you could put welcome in here, but we're not going to do that because we don't want it to be welcome, we just want to use this string. So, so you like computers. And then, if it's anything else, as you can see here, after it's ran that line of code or anything that's in there, it'll go, what now? And it goes over to here. It goes back one and it goes to else. And it's like, else what? Well, else anything. If it's anything else, then, remember this colon, then print nice name. Okay, so I think you're starting to get the hang of ifs. If not, leave a comment. Don't worry, we'll go over this another time a bit more. But this is more about the inputs. So I want you to try running your code now. You can press F5 to do this quickly, by the way. Okay, so it's asking me what my name is. If I put in here, techie, it'll say, so you like computers. Well, now we know that works. What if it's anything else other than techie? Let's check. So now it says nice name, you see. So that's actually checking. It's saying, is it techie? No. They've not written techie in there. So let's go straight over to else, and it says print nice name. So now you've learnt how to check for an input, how to make an input, but I'm going to show you some more uses you can use inputs for, and how to refer to them later on. First, let's see how to refer to them later on. So this is all very good, asking what their name is, but what if later on, if it's an adventure game or something, you want to write their name? Well, we can do that too. This is the brilliant thing about Python. We write in print, bracket, apostrophe, bracket. Now this is our print command. In here, you can write anything really. This is just one example for referring to an input. So, I'm going to write in here, I'm going to imagine this is an adventure game. I'm going to put Alan Walker, colon, so this is going to be like a character, and it's going to say, hello, and then it's going to be a comma, and then a space. So that's going to refer to that, and then we want to do a plus over here, input underscore tutorial. This is basically referring to the variable, so it's saying we want this string to print along with the variable input underscore tutorial. So that needs to be remembered. There's no way you can really remember that. It just needs to be put into your brain, just like the equals equals thing. But don't worry, you'll get used to it over time. It's like this in a lot of programming languages. So Python will actually help you if you ever go on to do programming in other languages. So let's try running our code now. It says, hello, welcome to Chatty. What is your name? I'm going to write Techie, because I quite like that. Then Alan Walker says, hello, Techie. So if you look at what we've asked Alan Walker to say, he's not actually said hello, Techie, has he? He said hello, comma, space, plus whatever we say in answer to this. So if I now go F5 to run this, and I put in here Charlie, it's going to say hello Charlie, so it's different every time, and this is the wonderful thing. You can really get to play around with with what you put inside of prints and other things like that. Now, just to make this sentence grammatically correct, I am going to do that. But remember, there's no Grammarly in Python. This is the problem. So you're going to have to remember to do your own grammar. And it's going to be a bit annoying, but you're just going to have to get used to it and remember. And then you'll have a game that looks better. You don't want everything written in lowercases like this up here. That doesn't look very professional. So if you are planning on publishing your project, make sure to have the right capital letters, the right punctuation, etc. So now, if I write in here, I don't know, Caleb, it says, hello Caleb. Right, so that's all working now. Now we've referred to it outside of our if statement and outside of here, outside of where we define what the variable is. Now, I'm going to cover one more thing and show you what not to do, right? When you're trying to refer to it, do not put input_tutorial, the name of your variable, inside of these apostrophes, and I'll show you why now. I want you to think in your head what's going to happen. Think in your head what's going to happen when this code runs. Do you think it's going to be his name? Do you think it's going to say strawberry? What do you think is going to happen? Right, so if I write in here now, Ian, it'll just say nice name, input_tutorial. And you want me to tell you why? It's because we put it in these apostrophes. Remember what we said earlier? The apostrophes, they stand over everything else. They're like the big two towers. So if these apostrophes, as long as these apostrophes are here, this will no longer be a variable. It'll become a string. That's perfectly reasonable. Because sometimes you have a variable named glass or something, but then you also want to print something. You want to print a string that has glass written somewhere in it. It's perfectly fine, but you just do have to remember to change it. So now, if I put regular input_tutorial and run this script, I can write in here Utah. It'll say Utah. So now it's working again because we've gotten rid of them apostrophes. Okay, there's one more thing I want to show you, and that is some other uses for this, and how to finish off basically your chatbot, because this will help you finish it. What we're about to do now. So remember, this is going to be a very basic chatbot, and you're going to have to program everything in yourself, so it's not going to be anything fancy. We'll probably go over how to make better chatbots that work a lot better in the future, but for now, this is all we've got. So I'm going to put here, I'm going to write question, conversation starter, I'm going to call this variable. Because this is gonna start out a conversation with the chatbot, and this is gonna say, hello. No, it's not gonna be that friendly. It's actually gonna be like, hi. How was your day? So that's said that. I've actually written that wrong. So we actually need to use a print here. Oops. Need to use a print. So remember that print function we learned, using the apostrophes and the brackets. So this is going to say print, hi, how was your day? So it's going to say, hi, how was your day in the shell. Now, I want it to list a number of options. So there is a way you can do it, where you can do the whole print command all in one line and then have it print over multiple lines. But for the purpose of the tutorial, I'm just going to show you the easy way, and then over time we'll go over this syntax stuff. So in this one, I'm going to write option 1. Oh no, I'm going to write A, and then A is going to have a bracket next to it. No, actually, I don't know. Press A for bad. Now, if you want to have speech inside of a print, you have to use speech marks and not apostrophes, because I know a lot of people write speech using apostrophes. In Python, if you're inside of a print, you're going to have to use speech marks, I'm afraid. And in most places, because you've always got to close that speech and Python will immediately see, oh look, that's a string. Now, you know that's not a string, but Python doesn't know that, so you have to tell it by using speech marks. So press A for bad. That's what that's going to say. And then we're going to have press B for brilliant. And then we want to close that with our apostrophe and our bracket. Now, I'm going to make a new input. So I'm going to have this as response equals input. And then this input, it's actually going to be blank. I don't want it to say anything. Actually, no. I am going to make it say something. I'm going to say press reply. Right, so now this is asking for an input, and then I'm going to feed it that input, and what I want it to do with that input is go, it's gonna reply to it. So it's gonna be if response equals A, close that, and then aka colon, then it's going to go, it's going to print, oh no, why, what's happened? And then it's going to say else, it's going to say elif. This is a new one actually, we've not used this one yet. Elif is else if. So rather than saying else, that's an umbrella term. That can be else anything. If it's elif, it'll be response equals. So it's just like another if, equals B. Or is that colon? Then it's going to print good. Tell me why. Okay, so we've got a little bit of a basis going here. And we've got that going. So now I'm going to hit F5. Press enter. It's going to say, hi, how was your day? Press A for bad, press B for brilliant. My day today, it was pretty brilliant, I'm going to admit it. So I'm going to press B. And it's going to say good. Tell me why. Okay, I think that's all we've got time for in this video. I want you to remember the techniques we've been using. If statements, defining a variable, and printing. I want you to try and use these in practice by yourself before you come back to watch episode 3. Thanks for watching. It's been great fun teaching you. Goodbye.